I decided that magic was my word for this year, that magic was really a place I would choose to live from now, that I would draw magic into my life from now on through my heart. And no, I'm not crazy. This is entirely possible. My guides have shown me that this is the place we are meant to live from, the place where we connect and align with God, a place where our inner child or our heart leads the way, dreams the biggest dreams, and allows them all to come in. Because yes, we have to allow them in. Are you allowing them in? Today, I'm writing you a letter to inspire you and guide you and hopefully enlighten you to see that magic is possible, that magic is actually your birthright, even though you've been told and shown otherwise. But God is always trying to lead you back to the truth and the magical life of love that you so deserve. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Alchemy of Manifestation podcast. I'm Jen Tammy at the Wheelhouse Project, and we are going to talk about how that sweet heart of yours is going to help you create the life of your dreams. Dear beautiful soul, life is not what you think it is. It's not what they told you it should be. It's not what you were led to believe. It's magic, actually. And so are you. What if I told you that you were meant to have it all and you don't even have to hustle or work for it? That God wants you to have it all. That God sent you here to live your most amazing life, to have a magical experience as a human. You would think I was joking, right? Yeah, I get that. I want to talk about where you might be today, though, and how you got here. Because most of it had nothing to do with you and your own desires, I'm sure. It had to do with how you were raised, what you were led to believe, what our society and culture tells us is true, what we have to do, how we have to behave in our world, and what is acceptable. It's a deep sludge of muck, I tell you. It's a lot of untruths, lots of conditioning over many generations, and lots of fear. Fear of not being accepted, fear of others, fear of love, fear of lack, fear of scarcity, fear of being alone. So many fears. I could go on. We are taught to feel the fear and to always stay ahead of it. That even if we are absolutely miserable in our lives and doing things that don't resonate with our soul, we need to just keep moving forward to work with the fear, to do what we, quote, need to do. We are a society deeply entrenched in fear. And another favorite word in our world right now is worry. Worry. Anxiety is so prevalent that there's a whole drug class around it, not to mention all the ways that we self-medicate in our own ways through drinking, smoking, eating, shopping, drugs, toxic relationships, you name it. We are taught to just stuff down the pain, to stay busy, to live the life that may look good in pictures but feels like hell, to not deal with it. Suffering and depression are just part of life, right? You should put on a happy face and just keep moving. But the reality is, it's our cultural beliefs that are suffocating us, that have us feeling trapped in a rather hopeless way. We have a culture of people who feel unworthy, who can't see the light of day, who accept less, suck it up, and keep moving, who can't see beyond what they were told is true. And this holds true for every area of our life, too. Our jobs, our relationships, our finances, our spirituality, or lack thereof, and most importantly, our own self-love and self-respect. We can't look ourselves in the mirror and really love ourselves when we're living a life of lies. There's so much pain and inner shame in that. And while we could blame our parents for all of it, because really, they could have taught us differently, they too are part of this culture. They have been raised in this sludge of untruths. They are suffering along with everyone else. So where does it stop? How can we change our culture? How can we start living from a place of love and not fear? Honestly, it starts with you. While we need to change this culture of unworthiness, it will need to happen one person at a time, and hopefully a lot of us all at once, because the energy of that, the example of that, the love that you will radiate across this planet, it will change things. And the best part, you will get to live your best life and be the example to others. So where do you even begin? Well, A lot of you right now are probably thinking you're good, or really, there isn't a lot that needs to change, that life is pretty good. And while I'm not asking you to rock the boat in your life, I'm inviting you to look deeper. I invite everyone to look deeper, because the vast majority of people on this planet are living with some fear in their lives, or they aren't approaching their life and major life choices from a heart-centered place of empowerment and passion. I was definitely one of these people. There was a point years ago that I just sort of gave up. I had a job with a great company. I was married and not alone as I feared. I had a nice home, and yet I was so unhappy. But from the outside, it all looked pretty perfect. So I played the part as best I could. I knew I was miserable. I knew I was giving away my power, and I knew I could have a happier life if I was willing to let go of it all. But I hung on because it would be crazy to make a mess of my life, right? I certainly couldn't imagine that it could be better. Everyone would think I was nuts to throw it all away, right? And what if I went back to being miserable, alone, and struggling that way again? Oh, the ways we talk ourselves out of things. We are taught to live from a place of fear, and we oh so diligently do. So how do you get yourself from that place to better? Or maybe, how do you know? I've had friends say that they aren't so happy, but they know they could be in a better place, and they've decided to just settle. You know, that's great if you know that. Do what you feel. But what if you want more? What if you can see that there is a light up ahead and you want to go there? I would invite you to begin to do some soul searching, some exploring, some digging, if you will. Start to get clear on who you are and what makes you happy. And at the same time, examine your life and start to see where you are out of alignment. This comes back to what I said before. Are you doing things out of fear or out of love? Are you in a relationship that isn't making you happy because you fear being alone? Are you doing a job that makes you miserable because you fear that there may not be a better option out there for you? Are you making sacrifices and saying yes to things in your life that don't light you up or perhaps suck your energy? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you giving your power away? Dig, figure out why. You need to come back to your heart and take back your power. What makes your heart happy? How can you do things that are loving and respectful to yourself? What are your passions? Do you even know? Maybe it's time to start to explore that, to see what comes to you, what lights up your heart. What does your dream life look like? And I know we're all taught to limit ourselves when it comes to dreaming. We are told to be realistic, but that's the limited view we are conditioned to have. What about your real dreams? What would your life look like if you let your inner child do the dreaming? What would you be doing? Where would you live? Who would you be with? Or better yet, what would your relationship look like? It's important to start to see clearly who you are and what you want, to be loving and honest with yourself about your life, and to love whatever emotions come up in the process. Be patient and kind with yourself. It can all be a painful process, especially when we look back and see what we have tolerated for so long. It can be really hard to look at. But pain is not there for suffering. It's meant to grow you and wake you up, to bring you back to yourself and learning to be true to yourself, to prioritize yourself above all else. And gradually, as you take back your power and make the needed changes, you will become more confident and self-loving. And that is the key to your success in moving forward in your life. That and a whole lot of faith in your Creator to support you, because God is always there for you. The question becomes, how good will you allow yourself to feel? As you move out of fear and into love, will you allow yourself to feel the good? Even if society and the people around you tell you that you are making the wrong choices, when you know you're on path and living the life you want to live, will you allow yourself to relax and enjoy it, to let it in, to let God support you in your choices? Because when you are true to your heart and honor yourself fully, taking your power back from everyone and everything you gave it to, God is finally free to give you the life you desire. When you align with your heart, you align with God, and God will lead you to your best life. And you will only be limited by what you believe you are worthy of. Yes, did you get that? You are limited by what you feel worthy of. So it's not just your outward choices. It's what you believe. It's what is in your head. It's that old conditioning you have to shake. Because sometimes we can move forward in good things coming to us when we open ourselves to it. But if those old beliefs aren't changed, healed, and reprogrammed, we will lose or run from the good that is coming to us because we don't believe we are worthy of it. This is something you can work on yourself for sure through affirmations, self-care, and really growing your own self-love. But there are other avenues too. There are books on reprogramming your subconscious mind. There are hypnotherapists. There are classes and courses about the law of attraction and changing your beliefs. There is spirituality and growing your relationship with the divine, among many, many other things. I personally have found energy healers and therapists to be wonderfully helpful as well. The truth is, we're all pretty wounded in different ways by our world and the people around us. Like I said, though, it's often not their fault because they were raised the same way with the same painful lessons and beliefs. While we may have to work through all of our anger in order to move past it, once you can move past it and work to change your underlying beliefs about things, it will change everything. It's literally about moving from fear into love. And that is exactly what we are doing in our world right now at the same time. Shifting and moving from fear into love. Isn't it about time that you do that for yourself? In my own life, I had this initial wake-up call around unworthiness about 12 years ago. I was already on a journey growing my spirituality and self-love at that point, which I continued forward on. I created a major shakedown in my life with a divorce, foreclosing on our brand new home, and literally allowing him to take everything except the dogs. I started over with nothing in a small apartment, but incredibly happy. It was about faith that if I followed my heart and divine guidance, if I loved myself and my life, that everything would turn out amazing. And while it doesn't mean life will all be perfect and smooth sailing, it got better at every turn. The lessons got easier. The love for myself and for God got stronger, and so did my faith. I have recently had a lesson around unworthiness and giving your power away crop up again, and it's been quite the awakening for me. I am making leaps and moving forward in other areas of my life, but there's one area I realized I was being pushed backwards in, that God was giving me a little shakedown to wake me up and make me stronger, to teach me not to give my power to anyone, even when it's ingrained in you to follow, to please, to obey, to comply, and really to work in fear of not being able to pay your bills. It's a need we have to control things, to have security, and that fear can be strong. It takes work to breathe through it and overcome it, to choose otherwise, and to know that God always has your back, to take your power back once and for all. I am learning. We all need to learn to grow and to not go into victim mode or an old fear reaction, but instead to see the lessons and move and change with it. We need to awaken to our own value and self-worth and make choices accordingly. So can you see that you have been deeply entrenched in beliefs that are not only not yours, but are not true? Beliefs not just around what you need to do, be, tolerate, and have to live the perfect life, but also around your worthiness, lovability, security, and more. Dear one, you need to dig yourself out of this pile you are buried under. You need to see the untruths in those around you, to see that they are operating from a place of fear. You need to start to gravitate toward love, toward kind souls, toward supportive and positive work, toward healers and helpers, toward the things that make you happy, authentically happy. Because I promise you that when you align with your heart, you align with the divine, and God can support you in bigger ways. Because God is your heart, and when you live life from that place, you will live a truly authentic and blessed life. You can have faith in that. I've found that wherever I am not in alignment, that God shows me through lessons, puts some bumps in the road for me in some way to wake me up. Oh yeah, this isn't good, is it? This is not making me happy. Why am I doing this? It's meant to shake us down and bring us back into alignment with our heart. It alerts us to changes we need to make, to where we are living from a place of fear or should do's and not love, passion, and purpose. So pay attention. Where is God giving you a wake-up call right now? What needs to change? Where do you need to do some soul searching and take a new path? So let's go back to the start of my letter to you, to living the magical life you came here to live. You need to believe that, to know that it's not only possible, but it's why you came here. You came here with the desire to remember that you are the creator of your own life, but you forgot everything on the way in. So it's time to remember, to stop listening to the lies that you're being told and unload all of it, to go back to the truth that you are the child of God, that God wants you to have it all. And you are the only one closing the door on that. It is your faith and belief in God and yourself to co-create your life as you desire it to be that will get you there. But you have some baggage to set down along the way. So unload it, dear one. Let it all go. See things from a place of love and turn your heart up to high as your magnet. Follow your heart. Follow your divine guidance. Follow your intuition. But don't for even 1 minute follow your fears or your old beliefs and programming. Let that go. Because you are magic. You are more than you ever could have imagined. You have a heart full of love that will bring in the most beautiful life. You just need to unearth it, open it back up, and allow it to shine. Your heart is the magnet. It is filled with God's love, and that energy is the energy of creation. You can have it all. You just need to believe it and love it into existence. So isn't it about time you turn that heart light up to 11? Wishing you the most beautiful life, dear soul. You are worthy of magic. You always were. Love and light to you. Signed, Jen Tammy. Thanks for joining me today. Please subscribe to the podcast and check out all of our other resources, videos, blogs, and more at thewheelhouseproject.com. Remember to sign up for our email list while you're there. And also check us out at The Wheelhouse Project on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest.